Hi class. So for your next assignment, you are going to be creating a word illustration or a calligram. What is a calligram? It is a word or a piece of text in which the design and layout of the letters creates a visual image related to the meaning of the word themselves. So if we look back at this visual image of the word clock on the first presentation slide, you can see that the designer used the L of the word clock and the O of the word clock to create the image of a clock, a visual image. So when we look at it, we can read that it says clock in many different ways. They spell it out, C-L-O-C-K, and they also have designed the clock. How or where might you see these types of images being used? A lot of the times you might see them in logo design, right? Or icons, for example, like the two below of the Wi-Fi or the Grand Budapest Hotel. So when you look at the word hotel, what does it look like? They made the H, they kind of transformed it and out into what would look like a bed, right? Hence hotel. You might also see something similar like this being used throughout advertisements, magazine layouts, product design. So I found these two images online of something that I found from a magazine layout. So you can see that the one on the left, they created the rays of the sun using text, and on the one on the right, they used the movement of the ocean to create the text, or use text to create the movement of the ocean. Here are some examples. So you're going to be creating a calligram. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to find an image, or think of an image, I should say, and you're going to figure out a creative way to place that word or words into that space. So here's an example of a flamingo, right? So you can see that the letters of the flamingo take on the shape of the body, and then the designer creatively placed the head of the flamingo kind of into the shape of an F and put a bow tie on it to cross through. Here's another example of a shark. Okay, so these take on the shape of the object, where this does as well, but it starts to become a little bit more ornate. So it's taking on the shape of the object, but they're also using, which is fine, like distorting some shapes, adding shapes like which is fine, like the top oval shape of the coffee cup. And then this designer started to also add in the word hot, kind of racing up like steam coming from your coffee cup. Here's another example of a banana. And you can see the examples that I'm showing you. Some are done on the computer, some are done by hand. I will show you multiple examples. I will show you how I would start. I would personally start one by hand. I will show you how I would start one in a program like Illustrator or Photoshop, right? This one was done by hand. This one doesn't really take on the shape of a pool, although it would be really cool if there was a pool in the shape of the word pool. But I thought this was very cute. This looks like it was probably done in Illustrator. But you can see they have created this pool within the word pool and illustrated all of these people swimming around with tubes and relaxing and so forth. This one kind of takes on the same idea, where it's not really a word within a shape like a coffee cup or a shark, but it's kind of illustrating the idea of something growing, right? This one looks like it was done by hand, maybe painted, but I thought that was a really nice one as well. So for this assignment, you can use whatever materials you want, right? Like we have in before. And what you're going to do is you're going to choose a word, right? Your design can be based off of any word of your choice. For example, it could be based off of an object like a coffee, or an adjective verb demonstrating a description or an action of something like beautiful and or running. It can also be more than just one word, like a quote. But if you're going to do something like that, I need you to keep it simple, like no more than 3 to 4 words, right? So simple designs. There are word illustrations that take on much more, like paragraphs of information that form into or transform into some sort of a design. I don't want to see that. I want to see simple words being transformed into a design. All right, so just kind of keep that in mind. So I don't mind if it's a quote, but just keep it short. All right. You may use material of your choice. So this can be done digitally or traditionally. So what I'm going to do is within next class period, create some videos of how, like I said before, of how I would do this traditionally by hand and how I can transform letter forms both in Illustrator and in Photoshop. These are things that you've done in the past, so I think some of you might have an idea of how you would do this if you were going to use Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator. But my tutorials I create will probably be really helpful to watch just to refresh your memory on how to do some things. For today, I want you to come up with an idea and text to include. So for an example, maybe my idea would be, since my theme has been birds, maybe my theme will be birds, right? So my text will say maybe like hummingbird, because that's what I did for my last example. And then I'll collect pictures of hummingbirds. And I would like to also see sketches. Maybe I'd start sketching my example. I don't have an example in this video, but what I'm going to do is attach examples of my process to the assignment page so that you can see how I would go about this too. All right, I hope this is helpful. And if you have any questions, please let me know that I'm here.